Discover the transformative power of Zen and the art of NLP. A lot more success with a lot less stress on Transformation Talk Radio. Every Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, Dr. Steve Simpson combines the principles of Zen philosophy with the techniques of neuro-linguistic programming to help you achieve your goals with ease and tranquility. Whether you're seeking personal growth, professional development, or improved relationships, this show offers practical strategies and insights to navigate life's challenges with a calm and focused mindset. Get ready to embrace a new level of success and serenity. Zen and the art of NLP starts now.
Hello everyone, it certainly does start now, today, because one of our greatest gifts is probably the one you never think about. It's about your instinctive and innate power of communication, your ability to alter your own mental state and your ability to alter the mental state of others around you. If you do this right, you'll glide through life like a swan on a calm lake. You will live in flow. People will find you to be relaxing company. You'll be more closely connected to your unconscious mind, and this is important because it's the home of infinite wisdom. If you do it wrong, and I know you won't, your life and the lives of the people around you will be challenged, so we won't do that. I'm Dr. Steve Simpson, and you are listening to Zen and the Art of NLP on Transformation Talk Radio. Every week, we will choose a topic highlighting a core skill of neuro-linguistic programming known as NLP, because we believe in your potential to grasp and apply these concepts in your life. How do we know this? Because you turned up. That's about all you have to do. We take care of everything else. Even if you go to sleep, that's okay, because your unconscious mind will hear and see everything. Well, not see, but will hear everything. So the three foundations of NLP are modeling excellence, using effective language patterns, and number three, learning how to connect to the massive power of the unconscious mind, often through hypnosis, although there are other ways. These foundations form the basis of NLP and are crucial for understanding its principles and techniques. We will also explore Zen philosophies. Zen is a state of calmness, a state of attentiveness, and inner peace. It shares a common goal with NLP: to enhance personal development and to improve communication. Someone with a Zen attitude approaches a situation calmly and with a focused awareness, because this is the home of peak performance and the source of massive results. And today's headline topic is, we've mentioned this word already once, the power of NLP when combined with hypnosis. And I've selected three quotes that I think highlight some of these things a bit. Do you know what the cartoonist Scott Adams thought about hypnosis? He said, the most important thing when you study hypnosis is that you learn that humans are irrational. Agree with you there, Scott. Until you understand that, hypnosis is hard to do. For me, it was this great awakening to understand that humans are deeply irrational, and it's probably the greatest influence on me in terms of my writing. And it's probably the greatest influence on me in the work that I do with elite performers, and myself for that matter. Quote number two, do you know what musician John Hopkins thought about hypnosis? I just love the hypnosis of a single bass drum. Don't we all around the world, all different cultures, there's something about the drums. Do you know what film director Miranda July thought about hypnosis? When I write, I wear earplugs. I don't want to be self-conscious. I don't want to be thinking about the fact that I'm thinking about it. I just want to be in it. It's one element of hypnosis. It certainly is, and very well expressed. The source of these three inspirational quotes is from brainyquote.com. Stay with us for the next 30 minutes and let us help you experience that sweet spot of mind, body, and soul to embrace a new level of success and serenity, helping you achieve a lot more success with a lot less stress. Please post your questions and comments, and I'll do my best to answer them in the final part of the show. You can also call us now at our live call-in number 1-800-930-2819. This is your chance to engage directly with the topic and share your thoughts with our audience. Today's headline topic, as I mentioned, is the power of NLP when combined with hypnosis. So we are now ready for our next adventure, and we'll dive once again into the middle of our brains. I warn you that you may never think the same way about yourself again. So you've got two choices. You can turn back or you can be brave. Trust me, I'm a doctor and a hypnotherapist. So let's get started right now if you're still here. This is step 1 of 3, and it's learning about the history of hypnosis from ancient to modern. While hypnosis is relatively recent, altered states of consciousness similar to hypnosis have been observed and utilized in various cultures for millennia. Shamanic rituals, religious ceremonies, and meditative practices often involved inducing trance-like states. Franz Mesmer, who died in 1815 and is often considered the father of modern hypnosis, believed in a force he called animal magnetism. He used techniques like passes and magnets to induce a trance-like state in patients, which he thought would balance their magnetic energy and cure ailments. Well, maybe he did, maybe he was right. And while his theories about magnetism were later discredited, his work sparked interest in the power of suggestion and the mind-body connection. James Braid was a Scottish physician who coined the term hypnosis in 1841. He emphasized the psychological nature of the hypnotic state rather than the mystical elements associated with mesmerism. Braid's work helped establish hypnosis as a legitimate area of scientific inquiry. Jean-Martin Charcot died in 1893. A renowned neurologist, Charcot studied hysteria and used hypnosis as a diagnostic and therapeutic tool. His work at the Salpêtrière Hospital in Paris attracted significant attention and helped legitimize hypnosis within the medical community. Sigmund Freud, we've heard of him a few times on this show, he died in 1939, and while not primarily a hypnotist, Freud used hypnosis in his early work with patients. His exploration of the unconscious mind and its role in psychological disorders influenced the development of psychoanalysis and indirectly the use of hypnosis in therapy. During World War I and World War II, hypnosis was used to treat soldiers suffering from trauma and pain. Hypnosis has been employed to manage pain, anxiety, phobias, and many other conditions. It's also been used as a tool in smoking cessation programs, weight management programs, and habit modification. A US study entitled Hypnosis in Intelligence was published in October 1966, and it was finally declassified in September 2000. And it left the researchers needing a lot of clarification, and I'm not surprised. And they wrote in their paper, "It would be difficult to find an area of scientific interest more beset by divided professional opinion and contradictory experimental evidence." I'm with them so far. One can say whether hypnosis is a qualitatively unique state with some physiological and conditioned response components, or only a form of suggestion induced by high motivation and a positive relationship between hypnotist and subjects. Well, in my opinion, all of those things are important. So hypnosis continues to be a subject of research and clinical practice. And while it's faced periods of skepticism, it's regained acceptance as a complementary therapy. So that's the history. Now, step 2 is learning more about modern hypnosis and, more importantly, how it can be used therapeutically. Hypnosis is a state of heightened concentration and focused attention. Although it's often described as a trance-like state, it's more akin to deep relaxation and increased suggestibility. A trained hypnotist or hypnotherapist guides you into this state using verbal cues, repetition, and imagery. And while in this focused state, you're more open to suggestions for change. I guess they're your own suggestions, frankly. I don't think that hypnotists should give suggestions to people. You're always in control during hypnosis. Hypnosis isn't sleep. You're aware of your surroundings, but intensely focused. Hypnotists can't make you do anything against your will. Hypnosis is used for a variety of therapeutic purposes, as we mentioned, including to help reduce chronic pain. It promotes relaxation, definitely, stress reduction, and coping mechanisms. It can aid in quitting smoking, losing weight, or overcoming phobias. It also helps with insomnia and sleep disorders. Athletes and performers sometimes use hypnosis to focus and build confidence. Well, my clients certainly do. It weaves its magic in the depths of the unconscious mind. As we've said, flow and peak performance do not live in the conscious mind, which is why overthinking, overplanning, and overcritical thinking will stifle your source of creativity. It takes courage to change the habits of a lifetime, but it can be done, helping you achieve a lot more success with a lot less stress. And to remind you, you are listening to Zen and the Art of NLP with me, Dr. Steve Simpson. We're going to take a swift break very shortly, but before we do that, take a moment, please, to think about these 4 big questions. They're all important, these. What's your greatest gift? I'm sure you know this. Don't be shy. What's the one thing that you desire the most? I suspect that most of you will know what you desire the most, but most of you might think it's impossible. Nothing's impossible. And question number 3, what's the one thing that is stopping you from achieving it? If you haven't got it already, there will be one thing. What is it? Spend some time thinking about this, and then you can apply that and get what you want. And the last question, what's the one thing that you want to share with others? This is really important. And the first 3 questions, were all about you. It's the ego thing. But this question number 4, is about other people. It's about coming from a giving place. It's coming from sharing. And when you generate these kind of higher frequencies, they will bounce around the universe and they will return to you some way or other. And good things just might happen. So when we return after the break, step 3 of 3 is learning how I use hypnosis, both on myself and others. I'll share some common truths widely accepted by hypnotherapists and some of my concerns about the standards and methods of some hypnotherapy training courses. Of course, most are really good, but we never get 100%, do we? Anyway, trust me, this is a lot easier than it might sound. Stay tuned. We will be right back, helping you achieve a lot more success with a lot less stress. And we are right back, and I hope you enjoyed pondering those 4 big questions during the break. And now I've got another big question for you. Please email me and tell me how you answered those 4 questions and which, if any, I can help you with. My address is doc@drstephensimpson.com. I'd like to use this as content for a future show, and in return, you will be helping others who might be struggling with the same issues. When you help others, as I mentioned earlier, you raise your frequencies and receive many gifts from the universe. And you can also be anonymous. Tell me this in your note if so. As I'll explain shortly, I will send you a free gift in return for your answers to the 4 big questions. The best way to find out more about me and my work, and I hope you do, is to check out my website, drstephensimpson.com. Sign up for my free weekly newsletter and discover plenty of other free stuff to explore, including the Zen Doctor and Poker Genius podcast channels. Zen Doctor continues to attract a lot of engagement at the moment. If you feel rich, and I hope you do, and if you don't, I hope you really will be very, very rich, then you can also actually purchase great books, hypnotic audiobooks, and coaching programs. But don't forget, a lot of the stuff on my website is free. As you would expect, I confidently recommend any of my products on my website, and a good place to start, particularly with today's topic in mind, would be the Zen Guided Meditation audiobook. And this is my free gift to you in return for your answers to the four big questions. So there is such a thing as a free lunch. Anyway, this guided meditation audiobook will change the way you think. I compose the background music, which we use on this show, and it's definitely hypnotic, as is the voiceover. It has sold many thousands of copies. Listen to this audiobook daily, and you will be calmer, and you will make better decisions. After 1 month, you will notice the difference, and your family and friends will notice the difference even more. Now, let's move on. Step 3 of 3, the final step, is learning how I use hypnosis both on myself and others. Hypnosis is a complex skill that requires a combination of personal attributes and learned techniques. And I'm talking about some of these now to give you some idea of what it would take to be a hypnotist or hypnotherapist yourself. And probably not as much as you might think. Anyway, let's start with the interpersonal skills. Empathy. It's not about what you think, as always. It's not about what I think. It's all about the client and how they and their feelings. And that's crucial for building rapport. Active listening, fully concentrating on what the client is saying without interrupting. The communication skills, clear, concise, and persuasive language, is essential for guiding the client into a hypnotic state. Rapport building, establishing trust and connection with the client, is fundamental. And then there's some psychological understandings. Introductory psychology, understanding the human mind, its functions, and how it works. You can spend your whole life studying this, but you don't have to. Problem solving, the solution's not normally found at the tip of the iceberg because it is usually much deeper. Ethical conduct, of course, adhering to professional and ethical guidelines to the letter. We've only got a few minutes left on the show, and I've got enough time to share with you the top 10 tips for learning the art of hypnosis. And if you would like to know more about these subjects, please add your comments to the video on YouTube or wherever you watch this, or contact me, and I'll prepare another episode that goes into more detail. Okay, tip number 1, train with the best. Okay, it's going to cost you a lot of money, but if you've got the money, it's worth it. I trained with Richard Bandler, the co-creator of NLP, and international best-selling author and motivational speaker, who's now become a very close friend of mine, Paul McKenna. They're both also world-class hypnotists, and I wouldn't have learned what I know now without their help. Number 2, study the best TV ads, because they are powerful examples of how others use representational systems, the advertisers. The representational systems from a previous show, we've got 5 senses: what we see, what we hear, what we feel, what we smell, and what we taste. And their ads are loaded with all those details. Basically what they're saying, buy this car and you can live this perfect life with this beautiful partner, beautiful dog, beautiful children, beautiful house, everything beautiful. 3, being more serious, you definitely have to learn how to deal with abreactions, because they're going to happen. These are powerful emotional responses under hypnosis, which can be very frightening for both the client and the therapist. But actually, they're a sign of usually huge progress. It just needs to be handled the right way. Step number 4, go there first. As we say, hypnosis is an altered mind state, and before you can induce this in another person, you must first find this mind state yourself. If you're really anxious and having a bad hair day, I suggest you leave the hypnosis behind until you feel a bit better about yourself. Number 5, develop a pleasing voice tone and hit smooth waves. Speak from the chest and not from the nose. Speech coaches can tell you this again. It's not difficult if you need to change your speech for any reason. And you can buy an oscilloscope app, and that will see your wave patterns. You've got to hit smooth, clean sine waves. And you've got to have rhythm. That's tip number 6. Good way to do that is to read poetry aloud. And the ones that I like, Dylan Thomas, the Welsh poet, and any Welsh people have beautiful hypnotic voices anyway. Reading up fairy stories, they all have their own cadence. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess, and she lived in the big castle with her ugly and evil stepmother. But fortunately, they all lived happily ever after. And William Shakespeare, you may not want to read him. You probably won't understand a lot of the words. But actually, I have to say, I do like reading him. And he writes in what the linguistics people call iambic pentameters. That's his rhythm. Number 7, hypnotic inductions. Okay, this is controversial. I don't use them. I've seen people reading out scripts, and that's not the way to do an induction. But the important thing is they are necessary if you've gone there first, as in tip number 4, because then your client will already be following you. Number 8, learn a little bit about the meta model of language and the importance in any walk of life, not just in hypnosis, the importance of presuppositions, ambiguity, metaphors, and modal operators of possibility. Everything in the unconscious mind is possible. A presupposition is, I know that as you're taking deeper breaths, you're going deeper and deeper into trance. So wake up now. Number 9, I received powerful coaching from Richard Bandler and Paul McKenna and became glad to say, they made me a skilled and fluent hypnotist and trainer. However, I continued to struggle with self-hypnosis and asked Richard for his help. His reply was succinct and to the point, as it always was, and probably always will be. When you're attempting self-hypnosis, whose voice in your head specifically are you listening to? I knew exactly what he meant. You must use someone else's voice and someone you respect, and I'd made that rather simple mistake and was embarrassed when he had to tell me. Number 10, if you wish to improve your skills, watch my videos, listen to my audiobooks, and request details of my hypnosis training courses. Always happy to share what I know. And the most important point to remember, and this really is important, it's not the act of hypnosis that is important, it's the state of hypnosis. In other words, hypnosis is an art and not a recipe. That's why this show is called Zen and the Art of NLP. So once you know the basics, you're encouraged to explore the subject. We just got time for a couple of quick questions, and they're going to be really quick answers. Apologies in advance. Can anybody be hypnotized? Yes, they can, I think. But if some people really don't want to be, it'll take hours and hours to grind them down. And why would we want to waste our time doing that? Can I be persuaded to do something against my will? No, you certainly can't, because your unconscious mind will not be hypnotized, and it will not allow you to do anything that you wouldn't otherwise do. Are there any dangers associated with hypnosis? Well, I mentioned abreaction. You've got to know about that. But when conducted by a qualified professional, hypnosis is generally considered safe. Now it's time for the top tip of the week. Remember that it's the act of hypnosis. It's the act of hypnosis is not important. It's the state of hypnosis that is important, because this is the easy way to a lot more success with a lot less stress. Don't forget to send me your answers to the big 4 questions posted just before the break. And thanks for joining us today. We've got a great program lined up for you on the same day, at the same time, and at the same place next week, as always. Be there and invite all your friends and family and everybody else too. Let's have a party. Even the people you don't like, because who knows, you might even get to enjoy their company, because stranger things have happened. We live in a very strange universe, which is great. Let's all raise the vibration of our planet, because it certainly needs it. I look forward to meeting you all again next week. In the meantime, meet many exciting new people, make massive progress on your projects, and most importantly, have almost too much fun. Goodbye for now.
You have been listening to the Zen and Art of NLP. A lot more success with a lot less stress. Tune in every Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio as we dive into the depths of your unconscious mind and awaken your intuition, unlocking hidden talents and supercharging your personal and professional relationships. Continue embarking on a stress-free journey towards unparalleled success by subscribing to future episodes and stay updated on the latest content. Easily share these captivating shows with your loved ones and create meaningful connections. Book a personal session with Dr. Steve Simpson to delve deeper into the topics that resonate with you. You can visit his website at drstevensimpson.com.